When a narcissistic person has left you for a long time and suddenly calls you, be careful what that means. Have you ever experienced the eerie feeling of hearing from someone you haven't heard from in what feels like forever, only to realize they are a narcissist? The person who once left you with emotional scars, ghosted you, or perhaps made you feel like you weren't even worthy of their time, now suddenly reaches out. It may be tempting to take their call or respond to their message, but there's a deep warning beneath the surface that you need to understand. Narcissists have a way of weaving their toxic patterns into your life, and their reappearance, especially after a period of absence, can signal a much deeper, darker intention. This video will explore why narcissistic individuals tend to come back after long periods of silence, and why their motives may be much more sinister than they first appear. Stay tuned as we unravel the warning signs and help you understand the psychological dynamics at play. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of why you need to proceed with caution if a narcissist ever reaches out again. Before we dive into the details, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with anyone who may be dealing with a narcissist. If you've been in a relationship with a narcissist, this content will give you invaluable insights into why they suddenly show up again and how to protect yourself from falling into their trap. One of the most perplexing and confusing aspects of dealing with a narcissist is their ability to appear in your life just as suddenly as they disappear. You may have experienced being discarded, ignored, or made to feel entirely insignificant and unimportant, and yet, after what seems like an eternity of silence, they suddenly return. This can leave you feeling bewildered, wondering, why now? What does it mean when a narcissist calls or contacts you after such a long period of time, especially when you've been left in the dark for so long? At first, their return might feel like a weight being lifted, offering a brief sense of relief. You may feel validated, as if they are finally recognizing your worth, or perhaps even offering you a long-awaited form of closure you never received. The rush of attention, the flattery, the compliments, and the promises of change can seem so convincing. You might even believe, at least for a moment, that they've truly changed, or that they genuinely care for you and want to make things right. This feeling of being seen, heard, and cared for can be incredibly tempting, and you might be drawn into believing that everything is different this time. However, as alluring as it may seem, this is precisely where the danger lies. Narcissists don't fundamentally change. They simply adapt their manipulative tactics to get what they want. They've learned how to evolve their strategies, but the core intentions remain the same: to control, dominate, and use others for their own needs. The first and most crucial thing you must understand is that when a narcissist comes back into your life, it is never about you. It's not about rebuilding a meaningful relationship, reconciling old wounds, or offering any genuine form of apology for their past behavior. It is not an act of love or concern. It is always about their own needs, their relentless craving for validation, admiration, and control. You are simply a part of their emotional supply chain. Narcissists feed off the attention, praise, and reactions of others, particularly when those reactions validate their sense of superiority and entitlement. When they come back, they are seeking to reclaim something they have lost: control over you, their sense of power, and the ability to manipulate you into providing them with the emotional supply they so desperately need. So, why would a narcissist reach out to you after so long? The answer is simple. It's not because they've had some sort of epiphany, or that they've undergone a transformation. It's because they've realized that they need you again. Narcissists are notoriously poor at maintaining long-term, healthy relationships. Their relationships are transactional. built on what they can gain from others rather than on genuine emotional connections. When they can no longer use you as a source of validation, attention, or admiration, they will move on to someone else. However, there is always that underlying need for validation that they can never fully satisfy. This is where the manipulation truly begins. Narcissists may contact you when they are bored, feeling neglected, or experiencing an emotional crisis. They might reach out when they are facing rejection or frustration in their current relationships or in their personal lives. It's also possible that they've encountered a setback in their usual manipulation tactics, and now they are looking for a way to boost their ego and restore their sense of control. They may pretend to be vulnerable, put on an act of remorse, or offer you false hope that things can be different this time. They will make promises that sound sincere and genuine, but these promises are empty, and they have no intention of keeping them. The narcissist's primary goal is not to rebuild a relationship. It's to regain control over you and extract the validation they once had. A narcissist's sudden contact should never be mistaken for a sign of goodwill. It is not an opportunity for healing or reconciliation. It is simply a tactic, a calculated move to regain dominance and control over you. They don't care about the emotional damage they caused in the past, nor do they feel any real remorse for the way they treated you. What they care about is the emotional power you still have over them. They are keenly aware of how much influence you once had in their life, and they will attempt to use that to manipulate you back into their orbit. Their return is strategic, and the longer they've been gone, the more calculated and deliberate it becomes. Narcissists understand that the longer they stay away, the more likely it is that your emotional defenses may have weakened, or that you might have let your guard down. They know that the more time passes, the more vulnerable you may feel to their charms and tactics. When a narcissist reaches out after a period of absence, it is usually because they've recognized that their supply is running low, or that they are no longer getting the validation they crave. They may try to use the time apart to their advantage, knowing that the space between you might make it easier for them to rekindle the emotional connection they once had, even if that connection was never truly healthy to begin with. They may believe that by reaching out at this moment, they can manipulate you into providing them with the emotional supply they have been missing. You may find yourself caught in a cycle of hope and doubt, torn between wanting to believe that they've changed and recognizing that the patterns of manipulation still persist. The narcissist's return is never about reconciliation or healing. It is always about restoring their sense of superiority and control. They are skilled manipulators who know how to use your emotions against you, and their primary goal is to regain what they feel they have lost: their ability to dominate your thoughts, emotions, and attention. Their sudden outreach is a calculated move, and they will use your past connection to draw you back in, all the while reinforcing their own need for validation and ego boosting. Why you should be careful and what you should do. Now that we've discussed why a narcissist may reach out to you after a long period of absence, it's time to examine why it's absolutely crucial for you to be extremely cautious. It's completely understandable to feel tempted to fall back into the familiar dynamic, especially if you were left without closure, or if you still have unresolved emotions lingering from the relationship. Wanting closure or some form of resolution is a natural human desire, especially when an emotionally intense relationship ends abruptly. But here's the hard truth: narcissists are simply not capable of providing genuine closure. What they offer is not a resolution, but a continuation of their toxic cycle of manipulation and control. When a narcissist reappears in your life, they may attempt to lure you back in with nostalgic memories or vague promises of change. They might dredge up the good times from the past, reminding you of the better moments you once shared. They could even try to make you feel guilty for the way things ended, hoping to reignite your sympathy or remorse. But don't let yourself be deceived by these tactics. The narcissist's ultimate goal is not genuine reconciliation or to build a healthier relationship. Their primary intention is to regain control over you. They want to continue using you as their emotional supply, feeding off your attention, validation, and energy. If you fall into their trap and give in to their advances, you are essentially handing them the keys to your emotional vulnerability once again. You would be allowing them back into your life and back into a cycle that only serves their needs, not yours. The best thing you can do when a narcissist contacts you after a long absence is to stay firm and resolute in your decision to protect yourself. Remember that this contact is not about re-establishing a genuine connection or repairing the past. It's about the narcissist's need to control, manipulate, and feed their own ego. They are looking for a way to reassert their dominance over you, to pull you back into their orbit, so that they can continue to use you for their emotional and psychological needs. Protect your emotional well-being by not allowing yourself to fall into the same destructive patterns you've already escaped. If they reach out, the best course of action is often to block them or simply ignore their messages altogether. Don't respond, don't engage in any form of conversation, and certainly don't entertain the idea of rekindling the relationship. The boundary you've established is your protection, and it's important that you honor it for your own healing and peace of mind. The narcissist's fear of losing control. One of the most deeply ingrained aspects of a narcissist's psychology is their profound fear of losing control. Narcissists are driven by the need to dominate, to feel superior, and to have power over those they view as weaker or more vulnerable. They thrive on manipulation and emotional control, and any threat to their ability to exert power over others sends them into a state of panic. This fear of losing control is a key motivator behind their sudden and often unexpected reappearance in your life. If they sense that you've moved on, healed, or found strength without them, this may be seen as a threat to their carefully constructed sense of superiority. They will want to test whether they can still manipulate you and reassert their influence over you. This intense fear of losing control can take on many forms, and narcissists are highly skilled at using a wide array of psychological tactics to regain control. They may try to elicit sympathy from you by portraying themselves as a victim, claiming that they were hurt by the end of the relationship or that they regret how things turned out. They may even guilt-trip you, suggesting that you are somehow to blame for the relationship's failure. Alternatively, they might try to provoke anger or confusion in you, making you doubt your decision to leave or causing you to second-guess yourself. They may manipulate your emotions by presenting themselves in a way that makes it difficult for you to determine who is truly at fault. This psychological warfare is precisely designed to destabilize your confidence and weaken your resolve, so you begin to question whether it was right to cut them out of your life. The more they can manipulate your emotions, the more they can regain control over you. How to protect yourself from the narcissist's return. The key to protecting yourself from a narcissist's return is to understand and recognize the emotional manipulation tactics they use so frequently. Once you've seen these patterns for what they are, you can stay one step ahead. The most important thing you can do is establish and maintain strong emotional boundaries. Remind yourself of why you left in the first place. Reflect on the emotional pain, the manipulation, and the damage that came from being involved with them. Focus on the growth and healing you've accomplished since they were last in your life. Every step forward you've made is a testament to your strength and your ability to move on from their toxic influence. When a narcissist reaches out, take a moment to pause, step back, and assess the situation carefully. Ask yourself why they are reaching out now, after all this time. What do they stand to gain by re-entering your life? It's important to remind yourself that they are not reaching out because they want to reconnect on a meaningful level, or because they have had a genuine change of heart. They are reaching out because they need validation, control, and emotional supply from you. This is about them, not you. Trust your instincts. Listen to that inner voice that reminds you why you left and how much better your life is without them in it. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to block them, delete their messages, or cut off any communication with them entirely. Your peace, your emotional health, and your personal growth are far more valuable than anything the narcissist can offer you. You deserve to live free from the toxic cycle of their manipulation. Thank you for watching this video and exploring the dangers of a narcissist reappearing after a long absence. Understanding why narcissists come back into your life can give you the tools to protect yourself and make informed decisions about how to respond. It's important to remember that their motivations are never about love or care. They are about control, validation, and manipulation. If you want to break free from their toxic cycle, you need to stay firm in your boundaries and keep moving forward with your life. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might need to hear this message. Let's continue the conversation in the comments section below. What has your experience been with narcissists? How did you protect yourself from their manipulations? Thank you again for watching.